Good evening. Welcome back to the second segment of the Glazov Gang, the best show anywhere. Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, you bet.
Okay. Even Dwight is excited. So Dwight is back. Nonie's back. Borek's back. Welcome back to the Glazov Gang. We are becoming very multicultural.
Yeah.
We're being watched.
Here, well, look at this. Look how multicultural we are.
We're being watched all over the world.
But we are all Americans. Yes.
First and foremost.
Well, I'm still a Canadian citizen, but I want to be American. I'm on the way. I'm a wannabe American.
Do you feel American?
You're an American. You're more American at heart than many
See, I like
people
that.
who got the citizenship.
I like that. I'm fighting. I'm on my way.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, because we're very multicultural, we need to show our intelligence and our different abilities of speaking different languages. So, Dwight, a little bit of a different language, you know? Excellent. Okay, and what language is that, or you're not going to say?
Bruka language.
What language?
Bruka.
Abruka? Abruka? You never heard about Abruka?
Okay, Nonie, what languages do you speak?
بحبك يا حبيبي.
And what is that?
I love you, darling, in Arabic.
Excellent, excellent. So there's a component of romance on the show. Borek, what languages do you know?
Well, I know a few. I actually cannot speak German, but I can recite Goethe in German.
Okay.
Wer reitet so spät durch Nacht und Wind?
Excellent. And we have scouts watching the show, and all of you might end up in big Hollywood movies because of this.
How about
Yes.
some Russian? I want to hear some Russian.
Я думаю, что жизнь прожить не поле перейти.
No.
Is that good?
Хорошо.
Okay.
Хорошо.
Ladies and gentlemen, on to
Я
this.
понимал, вы не понимали? Я понял.
Don't tell them what it means. Ladies and gentlemen, back to the serious issues of our time. Benghazi Gate. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz is saying that it's very un-American to be even asking about what happened there and if there's any kind of a cover-up. Quickly, your thoughts on this, and also there's some whistleblowers that have come forward, allegedly at this point, but it appears that they're being threatened, and that's what we're learning through a lawyer. Two of those developments, Dwight, what do you think?
Well, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, as we all know, who put a calumny in the mouth of Michael Oren, lied about an Israeli ambassador, was caught lying, and then was promptly re-elected as head of the Democratic Party, is a disgrace, a complete, utter disgrace. It's so sad that my last name is her last name. It's a disgrace.
You're not related?
No, I'm not related. I'm not. And I cannot tell you how upset I get when I just watch her smile. I wish she would have her teeth fixed. Put it that way. I can't bear her! All right? That's Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's a phony and a fraud.
But Dwight, do you find it interesting that the term un-American is used?
Well, of course. Well, but what? You're either a racist or un-American.
No.
That's it. You're one of those two things because that's how they.
But if a conservative says that somebody's un-American, they're a McCarthyist.
Well, but socialists.
What's wrong with McCarthyism anyway?
Yes, they were right. Neo-Marxists are experts at character assassination.
Okay.
And you expect them to do what they're doing. And they have no hope here if the truth is their enemy. The truth is their enemy, and right now you have people saying, hey, we're coming forward under the threat of losing our jobs by the government itself to tell the truth. And so you are going to hear every libel that you can possibly hear in the next few weeks. You really are. You're going to hear it all. And I think it's when Victoria Tenson, who is a lawyer who is representing one of the whistleblowers, comes to the television and says, I have a whistleblower who is being threatened by the State Department, there is something big happening.
Nonie?
So.
I think it's being delayed, the investigation and things to come out on purpose, because now they can say, oh, it's an old story. And also they're giving themselves time to find, in my opinion, to find dirt on everybody who's involved in this. All the survivors of Benghazi are now under the microscope, so they can expose them, threaten their families, their children. I have no doubt, and unfortunately our media is not interested. They're only interested in digging for scandals only for Republicans, but not for Democrats. And what's going to happen is they're going to turn this country into a banana republic.
Yeah.
Borek.
Well, back in communist Czechoslovakia, they knocked McCarthyism over our heads daily in communist propaganda. Communists hated McCarthy. So there must have been something good about him.
Look,
I'll tell you one more thing. Threats to the survivors of they issued threats to Bob Woodward, of all the people.
Yeah.
You know.
Just in case if he dares do attempt to expose Obama the way he exposed
the guy
Nixon.
who destroyed Nixon.
Yeah.
I want to touch on this quickly when you say what's wrong with McCarthy. First of all, in terms of how the left has used this accusation and this word of demonization, McCarthyism. First of all, McCarthy was legitimate in his cause. I would say that because of some of his tactics, he discredited anti-communism on certain levels, which was very sad. I disagree with some of the tactics. However, history has proven that not only McCarthy was right, tactics aside, he had underestimated the Soviet threat.
Exactly
in terms of the Venona transcripts and all the declassified documents, everything that we know, the American society and American government was infiltrated by Soviet spies much more than McCarthy even thought. And another thing, this whole thing about McCarthyism, I mean, it was benign compared to, let's say, what Stalinism is, what Maoism is, what the Khmer Rouge is. They make it sound like a witch hunt. I don't even know if there was one casualty or death.
How many people were hanged because of McCarthy?
This is what I'm saying. But this is not to excuse some of the tactics that he used that unfortunately discredited anti-communism, but the cause was right and has been legitimized.
That's right.
But I also find it interesting that these leftists like Wasserman Schultz says people are un-American when in fact they're always accusing conservatives of using this, right?
Yeah, well, but this is they have no fear that the media will follow up on what they've said. Their hypocrisy. They have no fear.
Yeah.
They can say whatever they want. Republicans, this is it. Look, the media investigates Republicans. Republicans must investigate Democrats. And that is why talk radio and why many on the internet, the websites have popped up, because the media isn't and hasn't for the last 10 years been doing its job. They are no longer. The First Amendment is there to protect them because they were supposed to be the watchdogs. But now they've become part of one of the parties. And they admit it.
No, they're a lapdog.
They're a lapdog. But they admit it. They admit that they're ideologically, I mean, they're 95% leftists. And the universities are the same.
Yeah,
So,
and here's the key, that the possibility that there's something in the Quran and in Islamic theology that is inspiring the Islamic terrorism against us is a no-no for the left to admit in our society and culture, and they lead the media and lead the White House.
May I cite Quran? Three verses from Quran.
Can you do one for now?
I memorized many passages from Quran. So about peacefulness.
Okay.
Fighting for the God's cause is obligatory for you, no matter how you may dislike it. Because you may hate something that's good for you and love something that's bad for you. You don't know, Allah knows. It's for peacefulness.
Obama says self-radicalization. Well, reading the Quran by itself is self-radicalization because the Quran clearly states, go to kill for the sake of Allah. And not only that, the Quran takes away the guilt of Muslims by saying that don't worry, or something like that. It's not your hand that's killing, it's the hand of Allah. So the Quran is making the crime of killing, which is one of the 10 commandments, in Islam is becoming a privilege and obedience to God. So really, this idea of self-radicalization that Obama is talking about it's true. It's the Islam stupid. It's the Sharia stupid. It's the Quran the stupid.
But they will not say the word. He refers to
because
communities,
Obama
self-radicalization.
is in the lap of the Saudis, whom he bent for them, and their agenda is to satanize Islam and make it look as good, and Obama is doing it for them at the expense of the country.
And Nonie, what, Dwight, I want to go to. Okay, go ahead.
Well, let me just finish. Obama, as a provocateur, is setting up brother against brother, state against state, people, Republican against Democrat. You now have an organization of ex-special operations officers who are demanding an answer to what happened in Benghazi. You have members of the military now against the commander-in-chief. And so you are going to see something, I think, very critical and very real in the next few weeks. This is very serious. You have the Homeland Security Department has placed returning veterans at the top of the terrorist pool, along with Christians. So you can put a Christian and a veteran and someone who reveres the Constitution as a potential terrorist, but not a radical Islamist. Mm-hmm. They don't even say the words. So you are seeing the president set up forces in America that are tearing the country apart, and you're going to see this begin in the next
Nidal
year.
Hassan, workplace violence.
Right.
This was marathon place violence. Ladies and gentlemen, in my life, the point I want to make is I know many people who pretend they're humanitarian, and they're on the left or either afraid of the left. And if you come to these leftists, why I have so much disdain for them in my heart, and you say to them, there is a girl that is about to be mutilated, her private parts, with broken glass, and she will be maimed. Sign right here to denounce the Islamic theology that serves as a buffer to that mutilation. And if you do that, you will spare that girl of that mutilation. But everyone will know that you have stood up against Islamic theology and what it represents. They will not do it. And my point is that what I'm so frightened about what's happening in our country is, God forbid, a weapon of mass destruction goes off, let's say tomorrow in an American city. And you come to Obama and the leaders and you say, all you have to do is sign right here and say that Islamic theology is behind this and that Islam is behind this, and the next city will be spared of a nuclear weapons attack. They will not sign it.
No.
And they will allow that city to be bombed. That's what the left is in its heart, and that's what's happening to us. Wait, just wait. Okay, whose turn is it, Nonie, and then you go, okay?
What?
I just want to say something about women. Like women do it to the mothers and aunts do it to their daughters. These female genital mutilation. Yeah. And a lot of people really think that the reformation of Islam is going to come at the hands of Islamic women. I totally disagree, because Muslim women have already adapted to Sharia. And it's very much like the Stockholm Syndrome. Some of the biggest defenders of Islam and Sharia are Muslim women.
Well, look at the mother of the Boston bombers.
And exactly, and you wrote an excellent article about
Thank you. That's Muslim Mommy Dearest. I wrote an article at frontpagemag.com. Look it up.
And this is very true. Some of the most radical Muslims that I know are women. And I'll tell you why. When you have a very oppressive ideology, and it oppresses a certain group of people, which are women the most, you will find that women will hate each other. Mm-hmm. And you will find two kinds of Muslim women. The doormat and the women who report on the doormats.
Yeah.
And these are the very aggressive, proud to be Muslims, and they wear their hijab with pride. And these women really stand up to even the men who don't want to do jihad. And they stand up and say, we want to give our husbands, we want to give our sons to jihad, and we're proud of it. This is the mother that you described in your article.
And I think also part of this, very important to stress to your vital points is that when you have a group that lives with an execution right over its head, you try to ingratiate yourself with the potential executioners to try to even out-radicalize others. So the women who live under a constant death sentence say, I hate Jews more than you, and I will give my sons. And I will give my sons. Yeah. And so this is the vicious cycle. And these women eventually
get life pensions. They get a very high standard of living. Yeah. They get rewarded by society. They are respected. Their names go on them in the papers, and their names they become idols.
Okay, thank you, Nonie, so much. We've run out of time. Borek?
Well, I hark back to the previous topic. I'm actually grateful for Obama being president for two things.
Do you have a fever? What's
No. I'm dead serious.
You smoked narcotics before you came?
First, the Marxists finally took the mask, the mask of their face. Yeah. Now we can see communists vis-a-vis. Okay? Now, so that's good, because at least now we know who the enemy is. Second, Obama becoming a president opened the door for me, because now, as long as you don't even have to be born in America, I can run.
You should have been a stand-up comedian, but a lot of wisdom in that humor. Thank you. We have run out of time. Man. No, I know it's not funny, but you have a good sense of humor. But a very profound truth there somewhere. And Dwight, we finish with your words of wisdom.
I just noticed that CARE came out, the Council on American and Islamic Relations, and demanded an apology for the way Muslims are being treated after the bombing. And as I emailed you, it is astonishing to me, you never hear anyone from the Islamic faith apologize for anything. So we're the ones who apologize, always. Very interesting.
Dwight Schultz, Nonie Darwish, Borek, Volarik, thank you for being on the front lines, and we are fighting on the Glazov gang. See you next week.